Yeah, my brother, you could take off, you could turn on your microphone. You have the microphone unmuted, King?
Okay. Yes, my microphone is unmuted. Key.
Okay. So give thanks and praise we hear Rastafari reasoning. Here with the good brother Frank Mtshali. You have to help me pronunciation again with the last name Frank.
Okay, is Frank Mtshali.
Charlie. Right.
Yes, Mtshali. Yes.
Yes, as I was telling the brother, I did see him on Facebook sharing information, Black Power thing and Rastafari information and thing, you know. So I wanted to get a little deeper insight into how the idols view things and them kind of way, you know. So
Yes, I
how
my
long
Lord.
now how you became a Rasta or how you entered into this trade?
Uh, I could say it was through. Uh, Firstly, I grew up in a family of a Christian family. Both my mother and my father are the priest of the Christian family. So it was a norm at home that we read the Bible and we normalize ourselves with it. Then when the times go on, I started questioning myself a lot of things about the Bible and Christianity. Then I met the likes of Dr. Yusuf Ben Yokanan uh, through his documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
Then I learned from him that Christianity, how it was imposed to us, because there is this other book that I read from him. It is called the Chronology of the Bible. So according to that book, Dr. Ben Yokanan, he put the Bible chronologically, starting from the start, from the first one, which is this one erroneously called the Book of the Dead. He start to give us the timeline of the Bible, starting from that one up until this one of 1970s, which is called the New American Version. So to be honest, I came in that version in this consciousness of Rastafari because I started searching about who him, Dr. Henry Clock, Ivan Fansetima. Yes, those people. It is them who gave me this. Then it happened that I became familiar with Mutabaruka, about Rastafari, and how he uh, gave us clarity why he say Christianity is not Rastafari. So it is all of those. When I started connecting the dots, it made sense to me. So I realized that Rastafari is a way of life, and it is who I am and what I supposed to be. Yes, I am a Lord.
All right, give thanks, give thanks. So you say that your parents were both pastors or priests within the Christian religion.
Yes, they are both priests in the Christian religion. So I grew up from the family of Christianity. So everything from the day I was born, I was to Christianity. And in our family, it was a matter. on daily basis. And after there's a so I started learning about the Bible in that fashion up until I started using external sources, so to say, such as historical books. And I took about 4, if not 5 years, studying only about the Christianity. The reason why I was studying about Christianity, I wanted to make sense why I was a Christian. I want this to be clear, my brother, that my intention it was not to find information that this that is I don't know how to put it. My intention it was all about finding information about Christianity and to be a better Christian. But unfortunately, the information that I got, it made an opposite of what I was intending to do. So I became exposed to different books where it is where I realized that Christianity is not an African spirituality. In fact, it is a vehicle used by the colonialists to colonize us here in Africa. Because according to Dr. John Henry Clark, he tell us that the colonizers, they placed the missionaries in the forefront when they came into Africa to colonize us. So the missionaries, they came to us to tell us that them owning our land, it is something ordained by God. And they used the biblical scriptures to validate whatever the claim they came with. So it is in that fashion I came conscientized and realized that Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, they are Abrahamic cult, and all of them, they are my enemies.
All right. Well, these main religions now being widespread in Africa in the last, let's say, in the last 400-500 years. Yeah? So, the I personally, before, what about traditional? What was picture of for traditional African spirituality? And if it is you have an ethnic group what had a traditional worldview of the Most High and all of these things.
I think, my brother, it is of the paramount importance for us to differentiate between culture and the tradition. Culture is something that it includes all of us, whether as long as we are the Africans, we are part of one culture. But tradition is a different expression of this one culture. It is like one tree with different leaves. So here in Africa, we find out that there are some people who contradict the two, and they use tribalism, so to say, to perpetuate division amongst the Africans, which is definitely something wrong. According to my understanding, hence I'm saying these traditions, all of them, they are intertwined. All of them, they have similarities. So hence I'm saying that all of us, we come from one culture, and that culture is African culture. We are all falling under African culture. But when we are talking about the religions, the traditions, we are talking about the difference expression of this culture that is African. So I think our people, they fail to understand that. Hence, there is too much tribalism. For instance, as Mtshali is a Zulu language. Who came different traditions. Hence, I'm saying some do understand the importance of us living as one. I think it is where the concept of Pan-Africanism comes from. It tells us that all of us, we must come into one. We must leave our pretty prejudice and focus in one goal.
Now,
So hence I'm saying,
things,
yes,
Frank,
there are traditions.
realizing we have a little delay. We have a little delay going on with each other. But what I'm saying is, I follow what you saying there. I hear it, understand it. But now it have people that like might say that the ideals of Pan Africanism is more like wishful thinking. They might say in the past it never had a united Africa or continental consciousness like that. So it come like they trying to falsify the notion of Pan Africanism and unity of the continent and thing. What would you have to say about these type of comments?
Yes, Saibaji. I don't believe in one way or yes, one way to decolonization. I believe the colonizers, they use different tactics to colonize us as a continent. And for us to retaliate, we have to deploy different strategies and different tactics. So by so saying, I don't believe in one culture or one way or expressional way of fighting this colonialization. So I believe all of us, if we come to different traditions that we find in Africa,
Mm-hmm. Well, I really trying to see what going on if you pick back up, but the internet connection like it giving trouble. I realize down like South Africa there are some internet connection and with problems or something.
doesn't matter which tradition it is, as long as we believe it is our way of fighting back. This is why on my Facebook, I believe that
Yes, Frank, brother Frank, we having a little
yeah,
bit of connection issues. We have a little bit of connection issues. But
okay.
we are still trying to work with it and see what information we could get from you in the meanwhile. So the other day I watching something on the internet and I see it have like many different groupings of Rastafari in South Africa. I see only pan name, some name I can't even pronounce with my Western tongue. So I want like what grouping or association the ideas orient to, if at all any, and if you could elaborate on the principles thereof.
You see, my brother, I don't classify myself with any group, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe these labels are what dividing, are what the cause of division amongst ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I associate myself with all of those groups. So to say that I'm not part of those groups or I don't label myself as part of those groups, it doesn't mean that I'm not part of them.
I'm
We
a
have,
yes. Yes.
Yes, we have different groups here in South Africa, such as Nyabingi Order, the Bobo Shanti Order, 12th Tribe Order, and this one of Pakihase, which is born here in South Africa. The Grandmaster of that order is Tautau Haramnuba.
Yes, I know that, brother. I had the pleasure of speaking to him already, you know, and in fact, I was
Yes, I.
make a connection to get back to reason with the brother. But other than the Bakehasa, I've seen some next bar, you know, some bar like
Bakalipa.
Bakalipa.
Yes, Bakalipa Bokukanya.
Okay, so
Yes,
that's another
but
indigenous South African house.
no, they don't classify themselves as an mention of Rastafari. They classify themselves as a traditional movement, which entails different peoples, because most of people in that organization or movement, they are not Rasta, they are not Rasta, you see. And most of them, they are still upholding to their traditional practices. So the Bakalipa of Okukan, even though it have some rastas inside, but according to them, when they explain to us, they say they don't classify themselves as one of the mention of a Rastafari movement, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they believe they have the similarities with Rastafari movement, even though their main objective is to uphold the indigenous traditional practices
Mm-hmm.
of here in Africa. Yes, I.
Okay, okay. Yes, I. So right now, how the state economy was the livelihood of the races in South Africa?
Apart, here in South Africa, especially among the Rastafari community, there is too much challenges. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, my brother, or to candy coat anything. I'm telling the truth
Yeah, man.
as it
It's the truth
is.
you want to speak. The truth you have to speak.
Yes, I.
Yeah, man.
What I could say, my brother, there is too much individualism amongst I and I, whereby our people they care or they prioritize themselves first. Uh, Most of the people who, I'm not saying all, I'm saying most of them, the people who are economical or financial stable in Rastafari here in South Africa, you will find out that they disassociate themselves from the community itself. They live their life away from Rastafari community. They don't develop as they promised before they could become financial stable. So that's the challenge that we are having. We don't have that togetherness when it comes to our economical security. We don't trust each other when it comes to that faculty of monetary.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, our people are developing. Ever since I became a Rasta up until now, I can see the development and I can see the progress. Our people, they are now financially stable. They are now getting education, and some of them they are employed on the governmental institutions. So hence, I'm seeing that the only problem that I see is that we still lack the trust that we need, because this economical aspect of Rastafari is something that is important. Yet, I think it is least on the mindset of other people. Most of them, they are just focusing on chanting and things like that. Because, as I have already alluded, I am not associating myself with or labeling myself with any mention. Yet, I attend all of them. What I have realized is that when I attend mentions such as, or the foundations such as Nyabingi here in South Africa, most of them, they no longer entertain the issue of plantation or economical stability. They no longer entertain that. What they entertain is chanting and engaging in the religious, dogmatic, or dividing themselves with the Bible. That is the problem that we have here in South Africa. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying the majority of our people, they think to be revolutionary is fighting against amongst themselves. Yet we have this elephant in the room, which is white supremacy. Our enemy is white supremacy. Yet our people, they fight amongst themselves over the useless things, so to say. So I am saying that our economy as Rastafari community, I can see the development. I don't want to lie, my brother. There is development, but the only problem or challenge that we have, whereby our people they on their families. They, for instance, there is this elder from Jamaica who was here in South Africa. He passed 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Elder Congo Weak Eye.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You see, so there is this brother of mine from Zimbabwe. He also talked about that. He say he see that as a problem whereby our people are repatriating while when they are old. They repatriate in South Africa when they are old, in Africa when they are old. And when they reach here with too much expectations that Africa is liberated, so to say, but they realize when the times goes by that South Africa or Africa as a whole, there is too much work that needs to be done. So what I could say as someone who is here in the motherland, I could encourage our people in the diaspora to repatriate in their youthful time, as energetic as they are, so that they can come and develop Africa and fight this colonialization. So the only problem is that our people, they come here in Africa with the expectations that they will be well catered or well taken care for. Then the opposite is happening. So I was sad with what happened with our elder Weak Eye. Yes, it was already his time. He was old. We accept that this part of nature, but we are saying that those who are in the diaspora, they must uh, emphasize the issue of repatriating as early as they are, because 2 days ago in the 183 anniversary commemoration of the emancipation, there was this the Zoom platform. We were in this platform of Zoom talking about the emancipation. So it is one of the things that Mutabaruka stressed, that the ancient, they are coming in Africa, yet there is too much expectation. Things that they think they are avoiding there in the diaspora, they still encounter them here in Africa. Hence, I'm saying here in Africa, amongst the Rastafari community, we are still uh, holding back, hold back by the differences, petty differences, things like our ideological differences. It is something that is dividing us here in Africa. So it is important that our people, they understand that Rastafari movement is a mass movement, and a mass movement, it entails different people from different backgrounds. So I don't believe in Rastafari movement of one people or one people who are practicing one thing or who are believing in one thing. It is proven in Africa that Africa has this diversity. We have different cultures, which is something that we were talking about earlier. We have different cultures. His Majesty in his speeches, he emphasized the issue of cherishing our differences, cherishing our diversity. So the Africa on its own is like that. So hence I'm saying Rastafari movement is a mass movement. It's a movement of different people from different backgrounds with different ideologies. Yet our aim and our focus is the same. So it's the problem that we are having here in South Africa. But I think it's not only in South Africa, but in the whole of South Africa. We are still focusing on the things that are pitch, whereas we have things that which we have to secure. For instance, in our political landscape, there is no rastas. Economically, there is no rastas. Even though we have won this battle, culturally, but we still have another platforms that we still have to fight. So I think our people, they think that by just keeping the Sabbath is enough. They have done enough. So it is the challenge that we have here in South Africa. We still have to conscientize our people that this battle that we are dealing with is not only a one-day tournament. It's something that is continuous. So for us to win this battle, we have to fight continuously.
Yes, I. So in terms of the future Rastafari in on the continent, then you think it's not so much in what is the future Rastafari trajectory in Africa?
Yes, Simon. Personally, I could say there is future in Rastafari because now here in South Africa we have approximately about 3 million Rastas.
No,
And
hold on before you go further, Frank. I hear that
okay,
number, but it sound very exorbitant. It's at 3 million Rastas in South Africa.
not I think it is not the actual number, it's just an estimation.
Nation. But that even self,
Yes,
that's a really big number, That's like a whole nation. Because my country where I live in here right now, Trinidad, it only have about 1.5 million people. So it come like they have in South Africa alone twice the population of my whole country, who is Rastas. So I think if it has so much Rasta, it's also we see a little more progress on certain things. And,
yes, I am saying, my brother, that here in Africa, even though I am saying that we still have that challenges of those people who are hegemonic, people who think my order is better than your order, I'm holier than you do. You see, even though we have those people, about the majority of our people are waking up. They see the necessity of us to unite because there is these gatherings that are taking on. They call it the all mention gathering. So the purpose of those gatherings, it is that they have to unite beyond the parameters of their mentions, you see. So it is something that is ongoing. Our people, they see the necessity to unite because on several occasions here in South Africa, we have been doing the marches. And those marches, if you can see uh, in the media, you will realize that they are all mentions fighting the same cause. So hence I'm saying that there is future here in Africa, so to say. Our people, they are awakening. They see the light and they see the necessity of returning back to their roots, because most of them, they are holding fast to these European ideologies. But now, because we keep on talking about the same thing over and over again, some people, they take time to understand or to digest the information. Hence, I'm using the platforms such as this of Facebook to make sure that I always talk about something. Because what I've realized, people, they don't unfriend me or block me. It means that even if they don't like my post, but it means they can see the information subconsciously, they see the information. So it is something that we have to do on all the platform that we can get, whether we are in the street, whether we are in the social media. We should make sure that our people, they get the proper information that they need, because uh, this information, it was hidden from us. So because now we have the light, we must pass the light to the coming generation. It is not about the likes or the laughs or the reactions. It is all about conscientizing and for the love of the people. So hence I'm saying, the people who used to fight the progress of Rastafari, or the people uh, who were stereotyped or saying my mention is better than your mention 5 years ago, are the same people this today who are seeing the necessity for us to unite. So hence I'm saying, some people, they take time to understand the importance of unity among us as Rastafari people and among the Africans in general.
Yeah, man. So you see in the evolution of the consciousness and one changing their position from a dogmatic stance to a more kind of unification stance. Give thanks for that.
Yes, I yes, I'm a lot.
Now, in terms of tribes, we heard about tribes. Do you know what tribe your family come from? Was
My family.
yeah,
Yes, we come from the tribe of Zulu, the Zulu tribe.
the Zulu tribe.
Yes, hence I have already alluded that my last name is Mtshali, and Mtshali in English is the planter. So according to the knowledge or the information that I have acquired, it is that this person who was called Mtshali, it was someone who was very famous in KZN, KwaZulu-Natal. He was very famous with planting. His hand was very blessed. And so people, they started giving him that name. So that name came generation to generation up until it reached to me. So hence I'm saying, I come from the tribal, my tribe is the tribe of the Zulus, because also my father come from the Zulu tribe.
Okay.
Also to emphasize something, my father, he was not just a priest, a Christian priest. He was also a traditional healer and a prophet. So most of the information or most of the teachings I got from him, because when I was young, we used to do a lot of things with him, heal people and things like that. So hence I'm saying, yeah, my tribe is that one of the zoo. Yet here in South Africa, we have about 9 provinces and 11 languages, official languages.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 11 official languages. So my language or my tribe, yes, my language is the language of the Zulu, which is one of those 11 official languages in Africa, in South Africa, to say.
Okay, okay. Yes, I.
Yes, I'm.
Now the other day I see it had a little had some rioting and thing concerning the ex-president. That calmed down now.
Yes, you see that riot or the disorder that sprang here in South Africa. It is because our people, they realized that the apartheid, it did not end in 1994 as our people, they were made to believe. Apartheid is still continuing, even though it is masked with different images or faces. So our people, they were reacting to what they have been exposed to, because there is too much unemployment here in South Africa, especially on the youth. There is too much unemployment. So these people who were looting the malls, stealing and burning, are people who were reacting to this system because they realized that us as Black people, especially here in South Africa, we are ruled by some of the white colonialists instead of us.
So them they may have no more problems right now with that. I think so. They either keep up the planting.
Can you please repeat the question, my lord?
I say, since your last name means the planter, I say if you're involved in agriculture yourself.
Yes, I am involved in agriculture myself, my lord. Everywhere I go, I make sure that I do that, because, to be honest, there was a time whereby I was not I was relying on agriculture. There was a time whereby in my life I was relying only on agriculture. So even now, the life is different, but it is something that I do on regular basis. I still go and visit my mother with seeds. I plant, and she take care of the gardens. So this thing of planting is something that is in my blood, and is something that uh, is my hobby, so to say. So every time I get a chance, I make sure that I plant the food that we eat.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Yes, I.
in terms of diet and things like that, in Africa, man, there's whole up ital and thing, or they eat animal and was he seem like culturally or whatever it is.
In terms of diet,
Yeah.
can you please repeat the question, my lord?
Yes, I ask you if it is that people is eat ital food. If it right, ital food in South Africa, or if they eat like meat and thing as part of like traditional practices and thing.
Yes, they still eat, but I call people are getting right now. As you know, I remember the words of Mutabaruka when he said that people they used to mock we and call us the rabbits because we were the vegetarians. But now, my brother, I will tell you the truth. Majority of our people, they see the necessity to eat the ital food. So even though most of our people, they are still holding fast to this junk food and things like that. But what I've realized is that our people, most of them, they are waking up and they see the necessity of uh, embarking or tapping in the herbal lifestyle, because I could say even this coronavirus,
Mm-hmm.
it played a significant role in making sure that our people they go back to the basics, because now a majority of them they now see the importance of taking care of their health, eating good food, drinking enough water per day, you see things like that. So even though we come from families where people they just eat what is in the plate, but I think when we grow, we start to realize things that our food are not good for us, because we have the GMOs and things like that. So our people, when they get this enough information, they come into their senses and start to take care of their food intakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yes, I. So, as a person born on the continent, what is some of the issues you have with diaspora and Rastafari? Like if we know, like if we with some of the issues you might have with diaspora and Rastafari.
Uh, the issue that I have, I don't know if this question is directed to me personally, or the issues that we may have with the diaspora Rastafari. Is that the question?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's the question. Like, what you might
Okay.
observe, maybe ways and habits or ways of thinking and thing that you find not really so agreeable to the African mind.
I think the only issue that we have, my brother, is that our people, they want to return to Africa, yet they still criticize most of the practices that our ancestors used to practice. For instance, you've been asking me about the traditions and things that we have been doing here in South Africa. Those things were done uh, hundreds of years. So our people who are coming from the diaspora, they understand the importance of returning to Africa, the importance of going back to our roots and culture. But I think the problem that they have is that they are selective when it comes to this root and culture. They choose things that are suitable for them and they ignore the rest. So that is one of the challenge or problem that I see happening. But I'm not saying that is only happening there in the diaspora. I think it is also happening here in the continent, whereby majority of our people, because the reality of the matter, my brother, is that about 95% of us Rastafari today, we come from Christianity. So our minds are Christian programmed. So when we come into this consciousness of Rastafari, we start developing the beards, we start developing the dreadlocks and changing our lifestyle, what we eat, what we wear. But we don't change the most significant thing, which is our mind. So most of us, we may find out that we are Rasta externally, but internally we are still holding fast to these Christian dogmas. You see, so it's the challenge that is not only in the diaspora, but I see it happening here in the continent. Yes, our people, they see the importance of going back to their roots. Others, they see the importance of resisting these foreign religions, namely Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Yet some of them, they don't want to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
hence I'm saying it is the challenge that we have, that our people, they didn't get enough time to rehabilitate themselves mentally before they can uh, get in this movement.
Mm-hmm.
So it is one of the challenges that I see, my brother, that most of our people are still holding firm on those religious dogmatics when they come into Rastafari. It is one of the main cause of the divisions and polemics and unnecessary polemics that we find ourselves in, because we reason Rastafari in a Christian way. So in that way, we don't make sense to us and to the people who are listening to us.
Okay, well, I'm here.
So
What
it
you
is one of
Yes, brother. So what you're saying here now, it it
Yes,
it relevant discussion that's be taking place between the people in Rastafari based upon the biblical tradition and then those who might be trying to define things outside of the Bible and whatnot. Now, in terms of how we reconciling the the tradition of the Habesha and them in Ethiopia, the Christian tradition and the Solomonic dynasty and these things, with the greater Pan African worldview of Rastafari. Because earlier you say that the Abrahamic faiths of Islam, Judaism, and Christianity is basically anti-African. So how we reconciling the faith and the tradition of His Majesty and Ethiopia with the notions then that Christianity and these things is anti-African?
I think one of the things that we need to be clear about, my brother, especially when it comes to the fashion in which His Majesty came into the throne. If you can remember well, there was a time whereby Lijiasu, he wanted to impose his Islam dogmatics in Ethiopia. And His Majesty, he learned from that because the Crown Council, it was against the 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 the, the decision that Ligias wanted to do of imposing Islam. So as a wise king, His Majesty, he understood that the only way for him to gain the attention of these people he want to rule is to come to them in the fashion that they understand, you see. So what I'm trying to say by that is that Ethiopia, you will realize that in Ethiopia, most of the teachings that we get are the teachings of the post-colonial time. I'm saying colonial time because there was a time whereby we were
Yes, yes, like we getting a little internet issues with the brother. But give thanks and praise still. It was an interesting conversation. I look forward to having future conversations with the eye once we could get this internet thing sorted out better, you know. So yes, massive and family could always look out for more. But look, the brother coming back in here. Yes, Frank, you would have to unmute your mic.
yes, I just did my change. Can you hear me?
Can hear you clearly. Clearly.
Okay. So what I was saying, my brother, is that deliberately we are exposed to the Christian culture or Christian philosophies there in Ethiopia. When you go to Ethiopia, most of the churches they have this white Jesus. Hence, I am saying, Lalibela, it is the only church that our people are focusing on. Why? Because it's a Christian church. Yet we do have many churches that are pre the Zakwe dynasty. So what I'm trying to say is that we have to go to the Ethiopian traditions or culture that were before the Christian invasion. You see, we have a lot of information or a lot of things. There is a lot of things that happened in Ethiopia before there was this Christian invasion. The the glory of Ethiopia didn't come with the so-called Solomon dynasty. Before there was Solomon, there was Ethiopia, and Ethiopia it was always glorious. So these people they want to cut our history and give us our history about Ethiopia, starting it from Solomon coming forward. They don't want to tell us about things that happened in Ethiopia before. So hence I'm saying it is challenging because our people, specifically Rastafari people, they are holding firm to this pre-Solomonic dynasty information or history about Ethiopia. They don't want to tap up on the Ethiopian history before there was Solomon or Solomonic dynasty. So hence I'm saying even His Majesty say that he traces his lineage beyond Solomon, going back to King Ori, you see. So that's why I'm saying African history, African glory, it is beyond Solomon and the dynasty of Solomon. So for us as Rastafari or Africans to unite us, to connect, we have to return back to that Ethiopia that we are trying to avoid, that Ethiopia that is not taught on the history. It is that Ethiopia that we need to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
So our people are saying, no, I am a Christian, I'm a Rasta, and I'm a Christian because His Majesty was a Christian. That doesn't make sense at all. That doesn't make sense at all. I remember the words of Mutabaruka. He asked a question by saying, if your father is a soldier and you decide to become a teacher, does that mean you disobey your father? No, you don't. So it is not a must for I and I as Rasta to become Christians. Christian is a personal faith of His Majesty. Yet, as we recognize His Majesty as our spiritual leader, hence we see ourselves as the Africans as this is, we identify ourselves with indigenous traditions. So it doesn't mean that if we are a Rasta, we are a New Age Christianity or New Age religion. No, we are not a religion. We recognize His Majesty as our spiritual leader, but the ultimate intention of us is returning back to our roots. And hence I'm saying our people they just want to practice 50% of those roots and ignore the rest, which is the challenge that we have here in Africa and diaspora.
Well, I would put in some things what I does here because you don't know we in the West and certain things. So man,
Yes, I.
let's say that not everything in Africa is good. So you can't and how they just have man eating people and all kind of wrong practices and female circumcision and holy pass. It have certain things what the modern mind or your modern sentiment might find undesirable or disagreeable, you know. So in terms
Yes,
of,
yeah.
and I know when they talk about Sankofa, the process of returning to get what is good and bring it forward. So within the
Yes, I
process
am
of
agree.
Sankofa, I would think it still have certain practices and certain things what get outmoded or is not applicable or not morally sound in this time now, what might have taken place in the past in various cultures. What you would say to this now?
Yes, I'm a king. I fully agree with you. I think one of the things that we have to take into consideration is the fact that traditional or traditions are human made. They are not something uh, natural. Culture is natural. We are naturally Africans, but tradition are human made. These traditional practices of circumcising
One word you're saying tradition is what made?
is human made,
Woman.
human invasion. Yes, it is human made. It is
As in
man's idea.
a female you're saying or a man.
No, a man, a man.
Okay, it's a man's tradition is man's invention. That's what you say. I thought you was telling me the
Yes,
tradition.
that's what I'm saying.
I thought you was telling me tradition is woman's invention under some kind of
No,
heightened.
no,
But I could go
no,
ahead.
a human's okay, a human being invasion. What I'm trying to say is that it is a human being invasion. These practices that we find in Africa of circumcising, of chopping certain parts of all of those things are human made. So I don't think that those traditions they are meant to be stagnate, to be stationary.
Mm-hmm.
As the ages they move forward, it means that there will be changes taking place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that what was practiced 1,000 years ago is something that is supposed to be practiced even now. I agree with that words of yours of Sankofa of us looking back, returning back, and choosing those things that are very helpful for us to move into the future. So hence I'm saying it is not Mike. I'm not claiming that we as Africans we must return to all the tradition and practice them as they are. But what I'm saying is that we have to identify ourselves with them and try to understand why other people they do certain practices, because other things that we regard as barbaric or as demonic are something that is are things that are African and something that were used to be practiced here in Africa long before there were invasions.
Mm-hmm.
So hence I am saying it is important for us to take a decision of saying, no, I will not practice this thing after understanding why those particular people they practice it. It is wrong for us to reject African traditions without first understanding why those people they do what they do. So it is important for us to learn about these traditions and take things that are resonating with us. You see,
Mm-hmm. Yes, man. Yeah, well,
yes, I'm.
give thanks for the answer, sir. I find it was well thought out, you know. So currently, what works you just do with which party day?
I think
What works the idols do which party is?
all the works that I do here in Africa. Okay, firstly, I am the chairperson of RUF Rastafari United Front here in the province called Free State. I'm the chairperson of Rastafari United Front. I think you know Rastafari United Front. It is an organization that is fighting for the rights, civil, cultural, and civic rights of the Rastafari community. And also, I am the PRO of the organization called the RCC, which is Rastafari Continental Council. I'm the PRO in the youth council of the
Well,
RCC.
my brother, in the RCC,
Also, I am
what do you say position in the RCC?
PRO, Public Relation Officer. It means I am the one who is uh, delivering the information of the organization to the people.
Mm-hmm. All right. Give thanks for that. Yeah, man.
Yes, PRO, Public Relation Officer. Yes, yes, I am a key.
What kind of events or what kind of works the RCC is trying to think? Is it just like in terms of human rights, or they trying to deal with institution building, or what is the vision?
RCC, as the name itself stands, it stands for Rastafari Continental Council. it is the council that is aiming to unite or galvanize the Rastafari in African in Motherland. So it is an organization that is aiming to unite the Africans, those on the diaspora and those in the continent. So that RCC, it is focusing mainly on the continent itself, not on the countries, but continent itself. As here in Africa, we have about 52 countries. So that's in simple sense, RCC. Its aim is to unite these 52 countries in Africa under the one banner, under one goal, one vision, one aim. It is not a mention. It is not aiming to destroy any mention or what. It is aiming to unite every Rasta, so to say, despite of your mention or your affiliation. The RCC, the purpose of RCC is to unite the Rastafari in the continent, so that when their brothers from the diaspora they come in the continent, they find us organized.
So the RCC is to unify the Rastas or the nations of the 52 African nations.
RCC is united. The elders they.
Oh, again, we have a little pause up there and come back in.
Tend to call it the United Nation of Rastafari. Okay. That's my interview.
It's in this side, boy. All right, Frank. Well, we having a little bit of connection issue, a little bit, you know. But I give thanks for the I word sound. I know that we would be connecting more in the future, you know. Strength and powers, Rastafari, guidance, you know. Blessed love.
Yes, I might.
Some closing remarks.
Okay, no. What I could say is to emphasize what I've already alluded. Mine is to say that we, the Rastafari, we have to emphasize the importance of repatriation. As early as we are, as youthful as we are, as energetic as we are. So we are not saying the elders in the diaspora, they must not come in Africa, but we are saying they must encourage the youth to come as early as they are, so that we can fight against this imperialism, colonialism, and neocolonialism that we are exposed to.
All right. Well, give thanks and praise, Frank Mtshali.
Give thanks, Honorable.
Mtshali.
Yes, it's Frank Mtshali. Yes, I.
All
Give
right.
thanks, King.
Rastafari.